Hello and welcome to Teleislas News in English, with the most relevant and important news of the day.
And with the stipulation of the guidelines for the Youth in Action and Families in Action programs in the department, the installation of the annual operational plan took place.
The installation of this action plan was led by the Regional Coordinator of Familias en Acción, Franco Liwardo Basante, the Director of Social Prosperity in the Archipelago, Wilfred Lever, and the Secretary of Social Development, Marta Patricia Moreno.
Dentro de la instalación del plan,
within the installation of the action plan, what we did was to verify the obligations that the territorial entity and social prosperity have. This is done so that in this new year, with this new agreement, we do not have any problem that could lead to the end of the programs of Youth in Action, Families in Action, and Tax Release.
It is valid to emphasize the importance of these projects in the department after the economic crisis generated by the pandemic and hurricanes Eta and Iota. In this way, these programs contribute economically to the population in need.
En San Andrés Islas, en estos momentos tenemos.
In San Andres and Old Providence, we have 2,754 families in action. For Old Providence, we have 566 families in action receiving incentives between San Andres and Old Providence. We have 395 young people in action receiving incentives.
Regarding the guidelines established between the entities, the Director of the Social Prosperity Office in the department states that they are specific to guarantee the optimal development of the programs at the local level.
The press conference was led by the National Police Colonel. In addition to talking about the captures that were achieved, she made a special invitation to responsibility.
The increase of police controls around the island have led to important captures and seizures by the authorities. In the last week, 6 mobile devices, 51.7 grams of narcotic known as Tusi, a 9mm caliber pistol, a supplier with 8 cartridges for 9mm caliber firearm, and 400,000 pesos in cash were seized.
La Policía Nacional.
The National Police is carrying out controls on a national level in terms of traffic, checking records in terms of background identification, exercising the application of the National Police Code regarding those who do not use their mouthpiece and who do not comply with biosecurity measures that are so important.
Among those captured is a 23-year-old citizen for the crime of homicide and illegal possession of firearms, a 42-year-old man from the island for the crime of homicide. A 60-year-old man from the city of Barranquilla was captured for the crime of use of forged documents. A 33-year-old man was also arrested for the crime of handling of stolen goods. A 38-year-old man from the city of Cali was captured for the crime of fraud to judicial and administrative resolution by driving a motorcycle with a suspended license.
And after several days of searching, today in the morning, Aquiles appeared on the beach in San Luis, a border collie puppy who is a therapeutic companion and who arrived in San Andres with a family that came as tourists. His owner told Teleislas News how grateful she is for the mobilization on social networks that led her to find her pet.
Today, Monday, I want to thank Lady and Giselle and Danny, who were always by our side. I also want to thank the fishermen who were there looking for him and were the ones who put him on the boat. Since he was out to sea looking for us, he came in behind a house in San Luis near Rocky Key. We had been there with the dog, and he went into a house and jumped into the sea to look for us. The owner of the house realized it, and she called us. She and her husband are the most beautiful angels that Aquiles has been able to find.
And the Colombian Air Force are carrying out work in which they have achieved the creation of a new dining room in the Natania Departmental School and the delivery of groceries in the Obrero neighborhood. Here is the note.
The Air Force has a social program that consists of the personnel donating a part of their salary to a fund that contributes to the different needs that exist in the community. The air group commander explained how the fund was invested.
We decided to support the Natania Departmental School to generate a better space for the students to eat. We got together with them, we defined what we wanted to do in a joint work between the Caribbean Air Group and the school. We remodeled it. This had to do with contributing so that these children, who are about 350 children, on which most of them take their meals at the school, could have an improved and enlarged space.
On the other hand, the air group delivered food kits to the Obrero neighborhood.
250 food kits were delivered in the Obrero neighborhood with the support of the police and professional officers of the Air Force Reserve. These kits were managed where a vulnerable population was identified in a sector, and the delivery was made in coordination with the community action leader of this neighborhood.
And now we continue with all the information from the sister island of Old Providence. As part of the AINFA strategy, the National Police has been working on several fronts with children and adolescents in Old Providence.
The National Police has been working on 5 modules with its group dedicated to children and adolescents as part of the AINFA strategy that seeks to prevent crime through the attention to young people, children and family.
Esto nos ha permitido llegar a todos.
This has allowed us to reach the entire community of Providence, addressing them with programs such as Life Project, prevention of substance abuse, prevention of teenage pregnancy, use of free time, among others.
One of the projects was the formation of the Providence Youth Civic Association, which seeks to make children and adolescents multipliers of values.
Estos niños también conformaron la...
These children also formed the Providence Youth Civic Band that received the president. The band was already formed, and in previous years they played with little jars and with pot lids or covers. The National Police donated the elements, and we were able to form our peace band.
This weekend they carried out a road safety campaign with the children to promote appropriate behavior as road actors.
Ha sido difícil ese tema aquí en la isla. Entonces,
this has been a difficult issue, so we want to educate the children to respect the National Traffic Code. We continue to work here in this sector. We are going to work on a project to build a place for the education of children and adolescents in Southwest Bay.
Overall, the work with youths and children seek to form good citizens for tomorrow.
And as part of the requirements demanded in the environmental management plan approved by the ANLA, this afternoon the informative meeting on the progress of the dredging in Old Providence took place.
Community meetings before, during and after the dredging were agreed upon in the ANLA's environmental management plan. One of the meetings took place today with approximately 15 assistants.
To date, we have dredged approximately 170,000 cubic meters. We have finished the first stage, carrying a quota of minus 4.5 meters at the maneuvering area and access channel to the port of Old Providence, and we have estimated to finish on April 30th the dredging of deepening of the access channel.
During the meeting, topics such as environmental impacts, archaeological discoveries, and social compensation projects were discussed.
7 new projects were presented, of which a first filter has been made, and only 4 projects remain to be presented to the community on March 10th.
On the other hand, some attendees spoke about the lack of clarity on points such as the use of sand for the recovery of beaches, a project that will no longer take place.
There's a spot in the dredging where you could get some clean material that could serve us to recover our beaches after the hurricane. And they are saying now that they are not going to use that for that, they are going to use it to compact somewhere else. We are not so clear with that, because before or during the study of the previous consultation about the dredging, there was another project was to fill the beach from Black Sand Bay go right down to Old Town.
The next meeting will be with the Ministry of Interior and will be held on the 10th of November.
And now we continue with the cultural news of our department.
And in a project led by the Ministry of Culture and executed by the Secretary of Culture in the department, the school workshop Memoria en las Manos was delivered.
Miss Elvia J School Workshop is a project that seeks to reach the new generation about patchwork, one of the customs of rice woman to join pieces of cloth to make great creations, sheet, pillows, cushions, among many others. This school is led by Miss Elvia J, a rice woman who has been doing this work for many years and who is now imparting her knowledge to the youngest.
She is a craft woman, master of patched work, a manifestation of the cultural and material heritage that we seek to preserve with the program of school workshops. That memoir that Miss Elvia has in her hands, we want it to live forever. It will be a place and a space where we will exhibit, express, and teach our culture of patchwork. We found a beautiful wall painting, and this mural was made in commemoration of the International Day of Language, and for us it is very important to exalt the Creole Day, which is our mother tongue.
And just as the Minister of Culture said, we all have a journey through this land, but the memories and knowledge behind this art will live forever, thanks to the effort carried out, which allows this woman to have 15 apprentices today.
And in other cultural news, the Ministry of Culture continues to invest in the early reactivation of the cultural areas in the municipality of Old Providence and Santa Catalina, this time with the delivery of musical instruments.
Activate Hope. This is one of the main objectives of the Ministry of Culture for the municipality of Old Providence and Santa Catalina. For this reason, the endowment and delivery of musical instruments was made to reactivate the musical programs and practices of young people that are linked to this area. It should be noted that this delivery will be very beneficial from the group of musicians as a light at the end of the tunnel that will motivate them to return to do what they're passionate about, music.
Thanks a lot to the Ministry of Culture for the delivery of these instruments, which will be fundamental for the reactivation of the cultural programs of Santa Catalina Islands. From the Mayor's office, we want to extend our gratitude and welcome to this beautiful territory.
Among the instruments delivered are trumpets, harpsichord, guitars, violins, maracas, among others.
And with this news, we reach to the end of our broadcast. See you tomorrow at 1 p.m. with more Teleislas news.
And I'll see you at the 8 p.m. broadcast.
Good night.